Andrew Rosindell.
Madam Deputy Speaker, at the heart of the King's speech lies a fundamental misunderstanding of how economic growth is created. Growth comes from the grassroots, not from central planning. It certainly does not come from Whitehall or European micromanagement and regulation, but rather from everyday people in our constituents who get up early, work hard and build businesses from nothing whilst incurring risks themselves. It comes from governments getting out of the lives of people and allowing enterprise to flourish. In Romford, this entrepreneurial spirit is deeply ingrained in our community. Ever since King Henry III granted our market charter in 1247, our town has thrived through enterprise. My constituency has always been a town of market traders, small businessmen, shopkeepers and the self-employed. Napoleon's remark that Britain was a nation of shopkeepers actually should fill us with pride, as our entrepreneurial spirit is the foundation of Britain's success as a prosperous, free-trading nation. Yet today, Madam Deputy Speaker, my high street, like so many up and down the country, tells a very different story. Successive governments, and this government in particular, have made it harder, not easier, to operate a successful business here in Britain. Only this government could stand here claiming back growth while simultaneously hammering employers with a tax on employment through higher national insurance contributions. The people of Romford made their views on the 7th of May known very clear, with every single council seat, all 23, in my constituency being won by Reform UK. Ordinary working men and women have simply had enough, and watching their community fall into terminal decline while the national government effectively destroys people's livelihoods is simply unacceptable. And two of those Reform UK councillors elected, Councillor Diane and Russell Smith, are landlords of the Wheatsheaf Pub, a family-run business started by Russell's father. They are risk takers and indispensable to our local economy. It was never their intention to enter frontline politics, but they could no longer tolerate watching their community fall into disrepair and see the so-called government of working people fleece small businesses, owners, local traders like them, and make running a successful commercial enterprise intolerable. And Madam Deputy Speaker, they are right. I give way to my right honourable friend.
I'm grateful to my honourable friend for giving way. He's right, of course, that the pubs, the clubs, the small shops, the societies, the things that Edmund Burke called the little platoons, are what constitute civil society. And yet successive governments, including this one, have capitulated to huge corporate, multinational, globalist businesses. Nothing in this King's speech casts us in a separate, different, distinctive direction, and he's right to champion those little platoons in a Burkean fashion.
My right honourable friend is, as always, completely correct. Our nation's success is built on grassroots entrepreneurial spirit, not bureaucracy, not corporate control, not government regulation, and certainly not Brussels interfering with our affairs, yet again, having had that referendum where the British people voted overwhelmingly to get out of a political union with Europe. And now the government wants us to have a pathway to growth, apparently, through closer alignment to the European Union. We don't yet know what the contents of the so-called European Partnership Bill will be, but it's bound to mean more powers stripped away from this place and the British people with the introduction of so-called dynamic alignment, the regulatory straitjackets which would be imposed upon us by Brussels. As my honourable friend, the member for North Antrim, said to the Prime Minister only last week, the Labour Party's solution to growth is by making the UK a subservient rule-taker from a foreign parliament. That is not acceptable. The socialist solution is always more central planning, more spending, more bureaucracy. It failed in the 1970s and it will fail again today. What this country needs, Madam Deputy Speaker, is not more Whitehall diktats, government intrusion into people's lives, but another 1979-style Margaret Thatcher revolution for enterprise, a period of national rejuvenation defined by cutting back state intervention and giving people back control over their own lives. So we must cut waste, red tape, strangling business, scrap IR35 and give our tradesmen, freelancers and small firms a fair deal again. Lower and simplified corporation tax to make Britain one of the best places in the world to build a business instead of watching the wealthy actually flee our shores. Abolish inheritance tax so that families can pass on what they've built through a lifetime of work. We must reform welfare so that those who can work do work, but ensure that those who are vulnerable are genuinely cared for. Reward effort, protect the vulnerable. Most importantly, bring back respect for the hard-working taxpayer. We need to cut waste, restore discipline to public finances, spend where it helps working people and small businesses, not to prop up the bureaucracy and needless white-collar workers. So I want Romford to thrive again, but we can only achieve that if we stop treating small businesses like cash machines and start treating them rightfully as the backbone of our economy and the lifeblood of our communities.